Welcome to my 4th Horseman exotic shotgun review. If you're watching this, I assume that you already know that it's good, but if you don't, the gameplay should show why it's so good. I'm going to go over why it's so good, its strengths and weaknesses, and where it stands in relation to other exotics. First, let's go over the stats and perks. It has a typical high rate of fire, low impact archetype of shotguns, but the rest of the stats are pretty much all over the place. It initially comes with high stability, shit reload and range. But the skill tree is interesting in that you can customize the perks to increase stability, reload, and range, but you have to pick 2 of the 3. So for example, if you want high stability and range, you can go with either Accurate Ballistics and Fitter Stock, or CQB Ballistics and Hand Loaded. Either way, you're gonna have a shitty reload speed. For ballistics, you should probably choose between CQB and Accurate Ballistics. Field Choke really doesn't add anything much and I don't find it really helpful. In the second tree, you can choose between high stability, range, or reload. In PvP, I usually like to have high stability and range so I can get kills a bit more reliably, and in PvE, I always go with Accurate Ballistics and Speed Reload to boost my overall DPS and range. Speaking of perks, there's the Final Round and Return to Sender, neither of which are really exotic. And I'm guessing Bungie's vision of this gun was to allow you to chain kill with the Final Round, but the Return to Sender perk doesn't really proc often to be helpful. However, Final Round is helpful since you gotta be emptying out your gun pretty fast. So there's the subpart stats and perks. But why is this gun exotic? Well, it's actually one of the default perks that makes this gun truly exotic, the Thunderer perk. In the original 4th Horseman, this gun had the same stats as it does now, but the Thunderer perk gave you just extra 30% fire rate like Invective did, and there was really no reason to choose the 4th Horseman over the Invective. But now the buff is like way over 30%. I don't have the exact numbers in this one, but it sure does feel like 100% buff to fire rate. So yes, the reason this gun is an exotic is because it fires so goddamn quickly. Now let's go over how this gun plays in PvP and PvE. In PvP, this gun should be used like a close range backup because of its extreme DPS and ammo consumption. While Felwinter's Light can kill you from farther away, the beauty of this gun lies in the fact that you can melt people no matter what kind of buffs they have. Seriously, this thing is good for taking off people with supers and overshields. I've personally killed 2 Blade Dancers and 1 Defender Titan yesterday with this gun. Just hold down the trigger and the crazy damage output will kill whatever is in front of you. Now it is kinda harder to hit Fist of Panic and Nova Bomb because, the duration of their supers are really short, but then again, not many things can take those 2 out other than supers. Just a tip in PvP, aim for the center body mass and don't worry about getting headshots since the recoil will kick your gun up. Also, do not try to recharge into people in the open. Instead, use tight corners and hallways to force people into an extremely close range encounter where you have the absolute advantage. In PvE, this gun just wrecks. When you start using this, you will immediately notice the gun's niche. This gun is just made for melting tier 2 enemies in majors, so it basically has the same purpose as Pocket Infinity, except does way more DPS but at a closer range. This gun is so powerful that it performs well even in raids. It takes out those annoying Minotaurs, Praetorians, and Yellow Blooded Knights like it's nothing. In normal mode, you can take down a level 32 Major Knight before it can slash you in less than a second with only 1 mag. It's that powerful, it's stupid. Of course, for any mid or long range encounters, you should be using your legendary primary. I recommend bringing a hand cannon with long range or a scout rifle. In this week's weekly heroic, I just kept melting waves after waves of fallen majors and with this shotgun. This thing kills faster than a goddamn machine gun. Now, obviously, you need to get into close range to perform alien melting magic. And I found out that using this gun becomes easier if you have a setup that allows you to pick your own range. So for hunters, go with Blade Dancer and Don't Touch Me, so you can go invisible at will and get to close range with no problem at all. For Titans, go with Defender and Helmut Setting 14, so you can blind everything and kill everything around your bubble. Warlocks don't synergize as well with this weapon, but the best you can do is to go with a tanky Sunsinger build or a Blink Voidwalker build. In all honesty, I never thought I would take this weapon out of the vault, but now that I did, it's seeing a lot of action. I personally think this is more of a PvE gun than a PvP gun, but that doesn't mean you can't use it well in PvP. It definitely takes out a unique niche in both PvE and PvP, and it does it pretty well. So where does it stand? Is this worth the exotic slots? I mean, while it does have its niches, fun has to be a factor in deciding whether or not you should use this gun. In PvP, since ammo was so scarce, you're not going to be holding down the trigger many times. Of course, it's fun to shut down Sunsingers, Blade Dancers, Gunsingers, and Defenders, but whether or not this is worth using over exotic primaries and other exotic secondaries is up to how much you weigh this fun factor and the usefulness of the niche. In PvE, it is definitely worth the exotic slot. Just the fact that you can melt tier 2 enemies and mages alike and kill melee enemies before they can even get to you makes it more than worth it. If you're going to use your shotgun in anything with light switch, this should be the shotgun of your choice. Now, if you don't feel comfortable getting up close, exotic snipers and primaries such as Hawk, Moon, and Red Death will suit you better. I hope this helped somebody figure out what the hell this weapon is supposed to be and how they're supposed to use this weapon. The next episode will be the either Thunderlord or Might the Multitool. See you then!